Hi everybody, Craig here. Welcome to episode 4 of my 6-player free-for-all Age of Wonders 3 playthrough series. In this series, I'm playing against 5 Emperor AI that are each on their own separate team, and I'm playing as the Orc Warlord Crognash the Brutal. In our last episode, we started to really build up our forces, and we actually acquired a number of units that do elemental damage, which is excellent as when we started the game, none of our units were able to do anything except for physical damage. So you can see here we have a couple of lesser blight elementals who do blight damage, I should say. Then we also have a lesser frost elemental that does some frost damage, and we also acquired a draconian flamer who does some fire damage. And all of this was made possible by our Dreadnought hero, the Orc Dreadnought Dominus the Vampire King, who has both Dominate and Control Undead. He is, of course, undead himself and can only heal via lifesteal, but thanks to his Dominate ability, we were able to gain all of these excellent units. So this episode, I would like to continue kind of expanding and doing some more exploration as well to figure out kind of what's around me here. And I'd also like to start clearing out a number of these structures that are in the domain here of Toldrun so that we can start gaining their benefit. But before I dive into the episode, I did just want to give a couple of quick shout-outs to a few individuals who left some excellent comments on the last episode. The first of those is from Casper Eklund. And Casper pointed out that these Draconian Flyers here, although they have great mobility, there's nothing particularly scary about them in terms of their combat ability, and in Casper's opinion, they're one of the weaker Tier 3 units. Now, obviously, what Casper said there is true, and I do agree, but I do still have to, as of course I said there, be very cognizant of the fact that they're flying and they can get in behind me very easily. But what Casper mentioned that really counteracts that is that obviously since they are a flying unit, they're going to be weak to polearm. And in particular here, they're going to be taking extra damage. You can see that that's +4 physical damage against mounted and flying units here from polearm. So what Casper suggests as a way to deal with this and make this battle even easier would be to get a couple of pikeman units, or alternatively even Black Knights who have polearm, and then initiate this battle, and it wouldn't be too difficult. So I totally agree with Casper on that one. I think that's an excellent suggestion and a good point that although they have the movement ability because they can fly, Draconian Flyers aren't really that scary, all things considered. Casper also points out here that this dungeon is probably too difficult for me to currently raid with what I have at the moment. And I totally agree with him. I mean, dungeons tend to have at least one Manticore Rider, but since I'm on very strong defenders, it may even have 2 or 3. And they often also have Tier 3 units as well, like Phalanx units and stuff like that. So I'm probably not able to raid this at the moment, so I'm not going to worry about it. That's something I can address down the road once I'm a little bit stronger. Casper also points out that in the last episode, I acquired an item with Crognash here, the Numbing Hand of Winter's Hex, which allows me to potentially freeze a unit solid. And what I had thought about using this for was to give me a better chance to dominate so that I wouldn't be putting Dominus at risk when he has to move in and dominate the last unit. Also, it would give me a chance if I've tried to dominate and it's failed, I could potentially let Dominate have a couple of turns to be off of cooldown, and it would give me another chance. Casper points out, though, that I could also use this same approach as a way to heal Dominus with lifesteal by basically freezing a unit and then bringing Dominus in with 0 risk to him and just hammering away at that frozen unit to get his life back. And that's an excellent suggestion from Casper. I hadn't even thought of doing that. Another thing here from Casper, he mentions that these lesser blight elementals have disgusting stench. And if we read the description here, this unit gives off a hideous stench that sickens anyone nearby, applying a penalty of -1 resistance and -300 morale. Importantly here to note, units that are machine, undead, elemental, incorporeal, or goblin are not affected. But what this effectively means is that any unit that isn't any of those exceptions, if this unit is next to it, they're going to take -1 resistance. And that would basically mean that would improve the odds of using Dominus here and having Dominate work, because the lower the resistance, the greater the chance that Dominate is going to work. So that's fantastic. Again, great suggestion there from Casper. This point has come up before, and it came up in my previous playthrough series, my Shadow Elf Sorcerer series. I acquired a Dread Monkey, and Dread Monkeys have that same disgusting stench. And unfortunately, I don't remember who it was that actually mentioned it, but another person had actually suggested using the monkeys in the same way to help my Theocrat hero in that playthrough have a better time trying to convert units. So again, big thank you to Casper for reminding me of the utility of Disgusting Stench when it comes to mind control conversion attempts. And what's nice about this too is that this unit also has the ability to inflict Weakened, which further decreases resistance. So these units are actually phenomenal when it comes to trying to aid Dominus in obtaining additional units. And then finally, Casper also points out that in regards to this Elven city over here, which I encountered last episode, and I haven't actually made the elves mad at me, but they are at war with me, at least this outpost is. And Casper pointed out that it might actually be a good idea to take the city over or make peace with it or whatever, and gain it as one of my cities, because elves have really good units for the Warlord. In particular, like a good example of that is the Mounted Archer, who gets the longbow benefit of elves, meaning that my Mounted Archers that are high elves wouldn't take any range penalty when they're shooting at the edge of their range. And that's a great point from Casper. Now, I'm going to have to do some more exploring and figure out if there are any other cities of different races around me. And the reason for that is because I need evil alignment. And one of the best ways to get evil alignment is to migrate cities. So my plan was just to take over this elven city and migrate it as a way to generate quite a bit of of evil alignment. I suppose I could also raise a city, but in doing that, I'm basically going to anger the race of whatever city I take over, so I figured I might as well migrate it. But anyway, still a good thing from Casper to kind of get in my head to think about is that I want to think about which race I want to anger, because some races are going to give me a lot of benefit. Then the other comments come from Civ 5 Addict. And Civ 5 Addict points out that a nourishing meal item would be ideal for Dominus. And as Dominus is an undead hero who can't really heal, nourishing meal, fortunately, can actually heal undead units. And what would be great about that is that it would also allow Dominus not only to heal himself, but to heal any other units that he acquires, whether they're undead via Control Undead or living via Dominate. So either way, that would be phenomenal. And then Civ 5 Addict also points out that something I could use Dominus to try to do is to acquire units that can heal either Dominus himself with Heal Undead, so something like a Reanimator, or that could heal him with Nourishing Meal, so something like a Brew Brother, for example. So again, great suggestions from Civ 5 Addict, and great suggestions from Casper Eklund. Thank you very much to both guys for those excellent comments. All right, let's dive into this episode, as we have a lot to do, and I'm really looking forward to getting into this. So the first thing I'm going to start with, I'm going to take Crognash's stack here, and we're going to jump them over to join up with the Shock Trooper. Now this Grunt, who is a gold medal Grunt, he's quite strong. He's going to come along and help, but we're going to keep the Shock Trooper in the stack to gain extra benefit. Now, we could start casting Raise Militia to actually gain another unit here, potentially from Toldran, but I think we're going to hold off on that for now, as we're doing pretty good in terms of we've got kind of a number of units now, so I'm going to wait and see how this goes. Okay, so we're going to end our turn there, as I said, and as this is flipping over, we're going to just kind of think about how we want to approach these upcoming battles. So first things first, we're probably going to attack this Flowrock Quarry, which is guarded by all these halflings. And we've got 3 halfling Eagle Riders, a Brew Brother, and a little Adventurer here, and I suspect there's probably like a Night Watch or something that's concealed here that I can't see. So we're going to have to keep that in mind, as this is potentially kind of dangerous for me. Now, the thing I really got to keep in mind is that these Eagle Riders have Wing Beat, which basically allows them to hit the units right in front of them, and they can hit multiple units, and there's no retaliation. So I'm going to have to make sure I don't group my units up, and that I also keep that in mind that I'm not going to be able to retaliate against that attack. So something to keep in mind there. Now let's look at what we've got done here. So Hrim has produced its Orc Priest, which is excellent, as we're going to add that in here with Urkan's stack, and we're going to send them, we're going to wait a turn here, and then we're going to send Urkan's stack down to clear out this Brigand hideout here, which is spawning scoundrels. We need that dealt with. And that's actually really good because this priest gives additional elemental damage to a stack that otherwise only had elemental damage coming from this Draconian Flamer. So that's very, very good. We finished researching basic seafaring, which is excellent because I was kind of worried that Crognash's stack up here would get stuck and not able to come back across this river if necessary, if let's say I needed Crognash down here. So now we don't have to worry about that anymore. Plus, when we're exploring, you know, let's say we wanted to jump him across over here or something, there actually is an Eldritch Pit here which needs to get cleared out ASAP. So now we have that extra mobility. And then you can see here that Carbanok is offering us a tribute. We could either take 115 gold or a small army of units. Although the gold is tempting, I actually really want the small army, so I'm going to accept that. Let's see what we got. So we've got ourselves an Orc Greatsword, an Orc Grunt, and a Spearman. So that's actually not bad. I'm going to take the Spearman and use him as a little bit of a scout here. Okay, that's awesome. Look at this. We've got an ancient ruin here by the city of Carbanok, and what that means is once this city's eventually in our control and the domain expands a bit, we could get the ancient ruin in our domain, have it cleared out, and then we could build Pillar of the Stylites, which means that our produced pikeman units would have projectile resistance and +2 spirit melee damage, which would be ideal for us if we're going to use this city to produce things like, let's say, our Phalanx unit, which is a tier 3 class unit of the Warlord. So this city might be an ideal place to start producing pikeman units. I think what we'll do now is we'll send this guy down here. We're going to scout what's down here just in case there's anything else to kind of take a peek at. Now with these two units, I would like to eventually have them group up with Dominus, because I think eventually I'm going to have enough units here to have Dominus lead his own stack. Unfortunately, this is way too strong for us to even think about attacking at the moment. So yeah, I think we're going to send our units up this way. We're just going to have them kind of go that way. So they're going to go and head up here and eventually join up with Dominus. And we'll like I said, we'll eventually have Dominus break off and do his lead his own stack. All right. So now let's do our movement. So we've got Crognash's stack. We're going to send him down this way. And we want this Grunt involved in the battle just in case we need him. I suppose this Frost Elemental, I'm eventually going to want him in this stack too, but I want him to kind of maybe come help with some of these battles. So, like, I should say in a stack maybe with Dominus or something. So why don't we... Alternatively, he could replace the Blight Elementals, because these are going to be more beneficial for Dominus than they are for Crognash. But we'll figure all that out eventually. But for now, I want him to help with some of these battles, so we're going to bring him that way. Alright, so we definitely want to do this quarry battle. We want the Grunt involved, so let's move down, and then we'll move Crognash in. I'm going to initiate the battle, and let's do it. So yeah, I noticed there is a 6th unit, and I believe it's one of those Night Guard, Night Watch units there, so it was concealed. Okay. So we're going to have to be careful, because these units have tremendous mobility and wing beat, which means we don't want our units grouped up, because if they group up, then they're going to be able to take... they're going to be able to damage multiple units at the same time, which I really don't want. We're going to bring our Grunt in this way. So, got to make sure... Yeah, the biggest thing here is I don't want my units one block apart while they can get in and attack me. So right here it would be fine, but we'll just take a look at how this ability works. So Wing Beat, you can see it hits 3 tiles in front or around there. So what that means is that if I have units that are like sitting one thing apart, let's say the Eagle Rider could come right where my cursor is, it could hit both the grunt and the elemental, which I don't want. Fortunately, it can't quite fly that far, so I'm going to make sure I try to keep my units more than one stack away while they're in range of the Eagle Rider. So right now that's okay, but I suppose I could move up one more and try and do some damage to the Adventurer, but I'm going to see if they actually decide to try and come after me here. We're going to charge our Black Knight up, who's going to be probably our main unit here because it has Polearm, which is going to be really useful. And we're gonna take Dominus and just kind of make sure he stays back a little bit. Same with Crognash. Alright, let's see how this goes. Okay, so they are coming in. So there you see that wing beat. Fortunately, it didn't do very much damage because of the fumble. Taking just little bits of damage there, so nothing too crazy. Obviously, our Blight Elemental is going to need some assistance over there. So this is actually a perfect opportunity for us to use our Black Knight to just obliterate this Eagle Rider. Alternatively, though, we could use the Black Knight to lock this one down. We could kill it off using our other units here. Let's see what our Dominate... We got a 65% chance to Dominate as it currently stands. That's pretty solid, honestly. I do kind of want the Brew Brothers, though, for the Nourishing Meal. It's kind of a tough call, because these Eagle Riders are a really good Tier 3 unit. Or they're... Well, I shouldn't say they're really good. They're a decent Tier 3 unit. Wing Beat is pretty powerful. They do have physical weakness, but that's just because they're halflings. Well, so let's see what else we could do here. So, ooh, you know what? We could probably get the kill, assuming we don't get a lucky here, which I don't think can pop because, yeah, it's at 0%. Because it's got such low morale here from our Blight Elemental. So yeah, let's move in and get the kill. Very nice. Okay. So now this Blight Elemental can throw maybe a Weakened here or something. He is a little bit beat up, so we don't want him dying. So maybe we'll actually just have him go in defense mode. And now the Shock Trooper can move over and flank this one. Very nice there. Can use Dominus to just do some extra damage here. I don't want him getting too close in there, but we'll do that. And then Crognash can fly in here and try and get the kill. We got it. Very, very nice. And now it would be great to actually do some damage to this Brew Brother so that it ends up using its Nourishing Meal here, which would be kind of great. I think what we'll do is we'll actually load up our Black Knight here and just charge right up in there. Do some big damage. And then, let's see. I'm going to do this. There we go. And then with this guy, I'm actually going to... Ooh, you know, I could kind of get in there too. I think I'm going to just move up and engage them in melee such that now they're going to be more inclined to just kind of fight me. That way less units can come and flank my Black Knight. Alright, let's see what happens here. Okay, so they backed off and threw their cleavers. Kind of to be expected. Okay, so we took some big damage there with our Black Knight. None of it, you know, irreparable or anything, so we're actually doing alright. So now we're going to have to decide. So do we want the Brew Brothers or do we want the Eagle Rider? I'm kind of leaning towards the Brew Brother at this point, honestly, just for the healing. So why don't we move in and try and freeze them, maybe? So you know what we'll do here is we'll move in behind them. We'll apply a Weakened. And now we'll charge right up and try and freeze them. Hang on, wait. Before we do that, though, let's maybe clean this area up over here. So we'll move in and basically get the kill. Ooh, the only thing is we've still got those pesky little guys over there. So maybe we'll go like this, and we'll kill off the Adventurers. Kill off the Eagle Rider. Very nice. And now we can come in and try for the freezing. Very good. Okay. That's fantastic. So now we can actually move up with Dominus. And you know what? I'm going to drop a heal here. Very nice. And then I'll move in and try and dominate. So they're already weakened. They're getting the disgusted from being in the range there. So we're going to have our best chance. 70%. That's pretty good. Ooh, and it failed. Alright, so what we're going to do... We're going to try and drag this out just a little bit longer. if we can. So we'll just kind of keep everybody... You know what, we'll weaken them again. So now we're going to try and drag this out. Maybe we can get another freeze off here. Let's see. Ooh, they resisted it. Alright, then I think we'll maybe just kill them. You know what? Actually, no, we're going to wait, because they're going to do a nourishing meal, probably. Let's see. Oh, they went for the melee attack, and they just got killed. Alright, well, that works too. I was hoping to dominate them and get another healing unit, but that's alright. So we've got insulated boots here as a reward. 60% shock protection, +1 defense. Those are pretty solid. We've got Jewel of Forgotten Revival and some gold. So I will take those, and I will give them to Crognash here. That's quite nice for him to have, actually, at this point. Okay. Now, let's think about this. So, we're in decent shape, but we did take some damage there. So I'm not going to try this battle, just because of the sheer mobility of these flyers is honestly a little bit scary. Without having a ton of pikemen, I'm not comfortable trying that battle. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the grunt down, and we're probably going to try for these Tigrans next turn. We'll add in the frost elemental. We can even bring this spearman in to help, and we'll maybe try out attacking the Tigran. So now let's pick our research. We've got a few options here. We could do Last Stand, which will be really quick, and that would give Crognash a really good spell to boost the defense and kind of resistance of one of his units, which would be great if I need a unit to tank. I was previously using Urkan to do that when he was in a stack with Crognash, but now he's leading his own stack, of course. However, I really want to start working on Empire upgrades again. We've got some good ones here. Warrior Culture. The Empire suffers no happiness penalties from the enemy in domain and enemy at the gates events. In addition, city migration time is cut by 50%. So that's pretty solid. It means that when we migrate a city, it's going to happen faster. And that actually pairs really great with Mab's Boon, which is our newly migrated cities gain a big boost here to production, gold, and population for 5 turns. So that's actually really good. These two go very well together. We've got Conqueror up here. Units gain an additional plus 50% XP for killing enemy units. So this one's great in that our units are going to gain additional experience. So obviously, if we can get that one relatively soon, that would be great for us. I think I'm going to go with this one, though, with Warrior Culture. Just because it's a little bit faster to do. Yeah, I think we'll start with Warrior Culture. Okay, so we've picked our research. Now we have to pick production for our throne city here, for Hrim. And I think, let's see, we've got a few options. We could do a storehouse. That would be relatively quick. And our city's going to grow in 5 turns. This would actually increase the rate at which our city's going to grow, which would be nice. We do want the extra knowledge income from an observatory, but I think maybe growing the city a bit faster is going to be useful. So we're going to do storehouse. We have some more exploring to do with our little wisp here, so let's do that. We're going to just go north. Ooh, and a Sphinx Temple and something here. Let's see what that is. The Sphinx Temple is going to be great if we get strong enough to raid that. Can hopefully get some nice knowledge income. And would you look at this? I believe this is an Archon Revenant dwelling, which is actually going to be very, very good for us since we have Dominus, who's undead, and we're going to be having an evil alignment. This is probably one of the best dwellings we could have gotten at this point. I'm very happy with that. That is fantastic. Oh, that's exciting. Very exciting. So I have to decide how I want to handle that, but that is really cool. Okay, we're going to end our turn there, I think, because we don't really need another unit, at this point. So, although, you know, maybe, you know what, we'll do it because it might be nice to have another meat shield unit to kind of throw away in some of these battles. So we'll actually start the spell. Yeah, it is kind of a shame that we weren't able to get that Brew Brother dominated, but... oh well. Now, let's see here. So we've got our units kind of all set up. So if we look at what we're going to be up against, 2 Tigran Sphinx who both have Sun Disc, which is a pretty dangerous ability, to be honest. And we've got a Bond Huntress, which is kind of a standard cavalry unit. 2 Mystics who unfortunately have a lot of elemental damage and the ability to turn into a Werepanther. And then we've got the Cheetah who can pounce. So this is actually a... ooh, and look at that. Did you see that there? I saw an elemental unit, roaming unit there, so that's something we're going to have to watch out for. Oh, and look at this. We've also got Domain Invasion at Toldran. We've got some Shadow Demons who have popped out of the Shadow Realm. So these would be great to try to dominate as well to get them on our side. That would be ideal. Actually, the Shadow Realm might end up being our friend in this playthrough just because we're going to have that evil alignment. Oh, and look at this. We've got a Feathered Serpent and some Baby Shock Serpents who are going to be giving our little units some problems. So we're going to run away from that. We're actually going to head maybe back to our throne. Kind of garrison it up just so we don't get attacked. Because that would be not fun. Oh, okay, we got some mana crystals. We'll grab that. Very nice. Okay. Toldran actually produced a laboratory, which is good. We have now 50 knowledge income per turn, which is excellent. Alright, so this little guy, we're going to make contact with them and figure out how we want to proceed. But before we do that, let's sort out these battles that are about to happen, I think. So we'll move in like this. Move up here with our grunt. You know what? We'll even bring our spearmen in. Can they get to that? They can't. So yeah, they can't get there in one turn, so that's okay. And let's initiate the battle with our grunt, I guess. Oh, I'm going to have to be really, really careful in this battle because that Sun Disc ability, in particular for like Dominus, since he's undead, he's already got low resistance as an orc and he's undead, which means that he's going to be really in deep trouble if he gets hit by fire damage. So I'm going to have to be very, very careful with him. Almost worth maybe throwing Guardian Flame on himself, even though he wouldn't get the benefit of the heal. Okay, so we're going to actually just put him back in the corner. And we're actually going to put Guardian Flame on our Black Knights. Give them a little bit of health and some extra boost there. Alright, so now we'll move our Grunt up like that to just kind of chill. Our Spearman is kind of our expendable unit for this battle. Now our Frost Elementals are weak to fire, so we're going to have to sort of be careful with them. I think we'll set them like this. And then our Shock Troopers are going to be doing some big damage. Our Elementals are going to be doing work, so we're going to move them all up. Alright, now I expect we're going to get attacked here. Oh, wow, okay, they're not going to attack us yet. Okay, so we're going to have to kind of entice them into fighting us a bit here. So maybe we'll hit the Cheetah. Let's just do a little bit of damage, try and get them kind of mad at us and come at us here a bit. So we'll move our Grunt up. We'll keep our Black Knight kind of there to charge if we need it. And you know what? Let's just kind of move up just a touch, maybe. Actually, no, we don't want to line up like that, because then we could get blasted by Sun Disc. I'm going to let them come to me and see what they do. Oof. You can see... oh my god, that Sun Disc is nasty. I'm really glad I kept Dominus back, because he would have gotten... he could have gotten one-shotted by that, honestly. Okay, so our Blight Elemental's in big trouble over here, so we're going to need to assist. I think our Grunt can just move in and kill the Mystic here, no problem. Oh, I should have maybe Warcried there. I didn't realize that they hadn't done as much damage as I thought there. Okay, let's get our Spearmen right up in there and see. We do have projectile resistance, which is kind of unfortunate. Oh, we didn't get lucky. I was hoping we would get the kill there. Okay, well, we'll get the finish there. That's kind of unfortunate. Okay, so the Sphinx here need to die ASAP, basically. So we'll maybe get the flanking hit. We do need to also rescue our Blight Elemental, who's in big trouble over there. So we can move in and basically get we'd have a chance to get the kill on the Bond Huntress. I suppose... You know what? Oh, and I don't want to move Crognash in too close, because he would be kind of at risk. Hang on, what if we came in and just attacked? That's not going to work very well either. We can basically kill these Sphinx with our... I believe these... Do these count as flying units? Lesser flying, no. Okay. Yeah, they're an irregular unit, I think. Yes. Alright. Oh, polearm still does work, I guess, on lesser flying. That's good to know. But yeah, we need to rescue the Blight Elemental for sure. So we're almost certainly going to do this. Now, if we do 15 and 15, we're only doing 30, which wouldn't kill. If we're doing 20 and 20, that would be 40, so then we'd be killing no problem. So, middle of the road, as long as we don't get horrible rolls, we should get the kill. Come on, baby. Yes. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so now we can kind of get our Blight Elemental maybe out of there. Can we still... Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, he's kind of in a bad situation. We'll put him in defense mode to at least try and kind of give him a hope of not dying. And... You know what we'll do? We'll move up like this. We'll flank there. And then we're going to come in like this, do some big damage, and then we're going to flank with Crognash around here. Ooh, I actually have to be really careful because he's actually pretty damaged already. Ugh, but I need that flank. Okay, we got the kill. Very good. Dominus is just going to chill. He is going to stay back. We do not want him getting in there. I'm a little worried about Crognash being in there. What I'm hoping, though, is that this Sphinx isn't going to get any crazy ideas there. Yeah, we'll keep Dominus back. I don't want him getting too far into it. Okay. Oh, I'm not sure how this is going to go. Okay, killed off my spearmen, that's just fine. They were a kind of sacrificial unit anyway. That's actually kind of perfect. Alright, so what do we have left? We got the Mystics over here. Where are those? Oh, there they are. The units that pounce, they're the cheetahs. Okay, so we're going to have to deal with them. Alright. Actually, the Sphinx has frost weakness, which is really nice. So we can, you know what, let's go over here, flank it like that, and then go in and get the kill with our grunts here. Very nice. Now, I would like to try to acquire these Mystics with Dominus, but he's not quite in range to do that. And I don't think... Oh, I can get in there and try a freeze, so that's good. Alright, so let's just attack the cheetah and then we'll just kill that off. Very nice. Alright, so yeah, the only unit left now is just right there. So now let's try for the freeze here. First we're going to throw a weakened on. Very nice. And then we're going to try for the freeze. 78% chance. Excellent. Okay, now we'll come in and we'll try for the dominate. That actually went quite well. We did take some damage, but nothing we can't recover from here. Alright, dominate, 45% chance. Didn't work. We might just have to kill them now. Which is kind of a shame. I forgot that the Tigran Mystic has a lot of spirit protection as a Tigran, so they're actually more resistant to dominate and convert, because dominate and convert are both spirit checks, which you can see that little symbol there is telling you it's a spirit check. So we were actually kind of at a big disadvantage in terms of how much longer are we frozen for? I suppose we could try one more time here. Throw another weakened on them. Not that that's gonna... I don't think it stacks or anything, but we can try and freeze them again. Oh, you know what? Okay, they are facing the other way. That's good. So now let's try for the freeze. Oh, and we actually got it. That's fantastic. So I know this is a little boring, but if we can get this unit, that would be great. 2 more turns, so we're going to have to just wait. Okay, 1 more time for the freeze here. We got it. Very nice. 1 more turn for the dominate. Alright, let's try it. Oh, and we got it. We got kind of lucky there. Very nice. So we did get ourselves a Mystic, which is going to help a little bit. Some of that extra range damage. Oh, and look at... Oh, I thought that was a nourishing meal item. Dang it. Basket of the Roadside Picnic. Extra regeneration. You know, I don't really think that's that useful, actually, at this point. We've already got one with Crognash. I mean, I suppose we could give it to our hero down here, but I think we're just going to sell that for gold. Alright, so we did get a level up with our heroes, which is great. So, Crognash here. We could do ranged command. I do want to get Blood Brothers, though, when we hit level 7. I can't remember if Blood Brothers, how much it costs. I think it costs like 7 or something like that. So we could probably grab range command and it would be okay. Yeah, alright, let's do it. Because Blood Brothers is going to be really useful. So we'll grab range command and we'll still have 3 points there. So we should have enough for Blood Brothers, but I can't remember. It might cost 10. And if it costs 10, well, I just made a big mistake and I have to wait another turn. So I guess we'll find out. Now, with Dominus, what do we want? Forge Aprons would be great. It only functions when he's leading a stack, of course. You know what we could do is get him Flashbang, which would be kind of nice. Since he's not leading a stack just yet. Although, quite frankly, he's going to be leading a stack fairly soon. So we'll give him Forge Aprons. That's going to be good. Especially with him as an undead, that's going to be very good to protect him. And if he ends up leading some undead from this dwelling eventually, that would be quite nice to have him leading the stack. Now, we did lose that unit, so I'm actually really glad I cast this spell, because I can just do that. And boom, he's replaced. Now, Toldran finished its laboratory. We can start making some units here. Nothing in particular in terms of units that I'm really that interested in at the moment. So maybe we continue developing the city. We could do a shrine and then a temple, and we could produce priests here. Alternatively, we could do an observatory, which would be ideal. We'd get this gold mine in our domain then. City's not going to grow for a while, so that would be good. Plus the extra knowledge income would be ideal. You know what? Yeah, that's kind of looking pretty good. Mercenary camp. Produced irregular units have +1 melee damage, additional +1 range damage, and +1 defense. That would be kind of nice for our little spearmen, but I mean, I don't really want to waste 2 turns on it, to be honest, because I'm not going to be building them, really. We can already build, we already have a barracks, so we can build grunts and headhunters and great swords and scouts and stuff, so I think we're going to go with the observatory. Very nice, okay. Now, we're definitely not doing this battle right now, because we are just not in any kind of condition to do that, so instead, let's head over this way with our stack. Okay, here we go. We could actually try this and see if we could maybe grab a hold of a couple of units out of this. That would be great. And we could clear out this roaming unit. That probably came from this Eldritch Pit up here. So maybe we go and clear that out in the next turn here or so. Yeah, we'll just move forward and engage. I'm going to try and grab maybe that air elemental if I can. I am going to have to be kind of careful here because that one unit does have pounce. The Panthers back there, the Dire Panther does have pounce. So obviously I got to watch out for that. These Blight Tusk boars are definitely in need of killing, so let's just get rid of them if we can here. We'll blast the boar. And then we'll move up like that. Do some extra damage. Very nice. And then we can actually send our Black Knights in to potentially do some work. However, what I'd like to do first is throw a Weakened on the boar, and then I should be able to kill it with this. Exactly, that's what I was hoping for. There we go. Now, the only issue is that this elemental might get pounced by the panther. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to send my Black Knight up to deal with the air elemental, defense mode, and then we're going to do this. And I don't know for sure if it's going to try and pounce my Blight elemental. Oh, it went after my hero. Alright, that's fine. Oh, that really hurt. So now we've got to kill this panther off because obviously it's causing us some problems. So, let's... Suppose I could step right into it and then still use this ability. Oh, but it is... No, it's in defense mode. Actually, that's not a good plan. I do want to try and get that lesser air elemental. So, okay, yeah, our shock trooper can put the work in here, so we'll be all right. So what we'll do is we'll back off, hit him with that, move in like this. Oh, just obliterate the Dire Panther with our critical hit there. And now we can actually try for... What we'll do is we'll... I don't think they take... yeah, they're not affected by Disgust or whatever. So we'll do that. We can still move in and probably almost kill them. Yeah, we'll be fine. So we'll move in with Dominus. We'll try the Dominate. We got lucky with it. Nice. 70% chance, so I mean it was pretty good. There we go. Just got ourselves another elemental unit. Very nice. Okay, so obviously we do want to clear this out. Maybe try and get a hold of this big beetle. We want to grab that watchtower for the extra just range of it. But we've got a lot of these structures to clear out that are spawning these nasty units. So we've got this scoundrel spawning one here, the brigand hideout, and we've got the eldritch pit up top. Now the road is going to lead us right up there, so I think we'll maybe take care of that one first, and then we can kind of double back and deal with that. Ooh, and look at this. We've got a mature shock. I'm actually really glad I got those boots now because we're going to be fighting a shock serpent. And we might need some help up there, so you know what? I'm actually going to send some of these units over just to kind of form their own little posse. And we'll have to be cognizant of these shadow demons and see what they do. If they try to attack the city, I'll add my mystic in to guard it. Alright, here's our scout. So let's make some contact with these undead here. So they've obviously got at least one Titan, which we could try and use Control Undead on, which would be pretty cool. I'll say let me know when you're ready to talk. I haven't decided if I want to go to war with them and just take them over, or if I want to be more diplomatic with them, or excuse me, form an alliance with them and have them become a vassal and then eventually gain them that way. I'll have to kind of think about it. Looks like we've got a Heart of the Blight over here. There's a full Blight Elemental. Weakening Breath, that would be great to get once mine potentially evolve if I can keep them alive. Alright, so now with this stack here, we're going to head down and clear out this thing, the Brigand Hideout. Now, what's scary about this is we've got a lesser Shadow Stalker, so I'm really glad I brought the Priest who does extra elemental damage. So if we look at the Shadow Stalker real quick, 80% Blight Protection, 80% Frost Protection, and 60% Physical Protection. So thank goodness we have a unit that does fire damage, and the Orc Priest does Spirit, Fire, and Blight, so that's all pretty good. We will do No Mercy because we want the extra experience and the evil points. Now I'm hoping... Come out and attack me. Yes! Okay, that's going to make our life a lot easier. I'm actually really, really glad they came out to attack me. Because trying to go in since they have this like wall here, this little gate, that would have made my life a bit more difficult. But now I can actually put the work in here and I should be able to kill them relatively easily in comparison. So the priest can step in. No, he's not going to get the kill. See, this Shadow Stalker is very tough, so we have to be quite careful. Now, I'm going to be able to get the kill with the Knight, probably. So maybe we step up and Actually, we could almost finish off this scoundrel, which would be kind of nice. Nice, we did. Very good. We'll move in here, do some damage, move up with our priests. Oh, and I just cut the knight off. I shouldn't have done that. Oh, you know what? He can flank around this way. We'll just move our pikemen out of the way. Yeah, that'll be pretty good for damage. There we go. Very nice. Actually, we could even move around and flank them if necessary. Pretty good damage there. 13. Unfortunately, we're probably going to take a little bit of damage from him. I suppose we could just flank like this and then move in and get the kill. Yeah, let's do that. Alright, perfect. So now we just have to get inside the little outpost here. Oof! And they're lighting me up pretty good. Fortunately, I tanked that damage pretty well. And our Draconian Flamer here can actually almost outright kill that scoundrel. Not quite, but very close. And now we should be able, we can just get the kill here. Very good. And then we can get the kill here. Although it might be better to actually just kill them off with a unit outside here rather than one that's inside. I'm just seeing who else we have to move. Okay. We could war cry it. Very nice. Okay, so now let's take out an obstacle and see if we can let our knight get... Yes, he can. Alright, perfect. So now what we can do is we can just blast these frostling scoundrels and then just charge around and get the kill. Perfect. Alright, that went pretty well. That's one more structure that's spawning those nasty little things. Those nasty scoundrels. That's taken care of. We're getting a Goblin Half-Breed and Ice Scraper gloves as a reward. I'm going to take that. And these are great because they give us an attack here that does a little bit of elemental damage and also has a chance to freeze a unit, which is great. And this unit can act as like a little bit of a scout, I guess, which is kind of nice. So let's head over this way. We're going to just kind of explore over here. And we can send Urkan kind of to follow, which will be, I think, kind of useful. And he actually leveled up, so we can give him a level up now. He's at level 5. I think we'll give him Defense Command just so that the units in his stack are a little bit tougher, which is always a good thing. And I think that's going to more or less do it for our turn here. Kind of done everything else. Everybody else has moved, so yeah. And I could start casting another Raised Militia. I'm going to hold off, though. I kind of want to see what happens here. So yeah, my priority at the moment is going to be getting rid of these spawning structures so that my cities are safer. Because right now it's just annoying having all these. And there's actually one over here as well. Yeah, there it is, that one. So yeah, those need to be cleared out ASAP. And then also, we're going to probably go down, and I think we are going to just aggressively take this Elven city over. And we're going to make the elves mad at us, but we're going to get a lot of evil points, and that'll be really useful as we start trying to get these undead to work with us. So, not to mention, we're probably going to try and take over some of these shadow demons using our dominate. So, you know, what we could even do is go up and around, go this way, and then swoop around over here back to the Shadow Realm. So we'll have to kind of see what makes the most sense. And I'll use this little wisp here to scout more around this city, the dwelling, I should say, and figure out kind of what we're looking at in terms of what's around there. And I need to remember to keep, anytime I have the opportunity, I should be clearing out these watchtowers, because obviously the watchtowers are going to provide me with all that extra vision range. Alright, Carbonok actually has a quest available. Let's hear about... Oh, that's not good. So he is following me. Tell me more about the quest. Kill a few wisps and we get a Black Knight. I will accept that quest, absolutely. Okay, so this isn't good because this feathered serpent is going to cause us some real problems here. And the wisps, on the other hand, are also going to cause us a bit of an issue. Well, I suppose I could send this guy back and group him up with this stack. Now, we're probably still going to lose this battle if it comes to it because of all the elemental damage these units do. I don't want to leave my throne unguarded. Maybe I should have used Ray's militia here. That might have been smart. We did finish the storehouse, which is excellent. City's going to grow in 2 turns, which is great. Yeah, this is kind of a tough call now. So, I gotta think about this. So this Feathered Serpent, let's take a look at what kind of damage it does. So melee, it does blight and fire and physical. Inflict enabling fever. It has sprint and healing, which is pretty nasty. Ay, that's a bit of a tall order to fight. Plus these shock serpents that can inflict shocking, which is obviously pretty dangerous. So, yeah, the question is, do I try and run for my throne and ignore the quest for now? I mean, we don't really have any ranged units, so this wall isn't really going to help us all that much, other than the fact that the serpent can go over the wall because it's floating, and the shock serpents cannot. So maybe we take advantage of that. Now, there's no guarantee this thing's going to follow us all the way to the city and attack, but... Okay, well, while I'm thinking about that, let's go sort out the rest of this. Okay, so now, obviously, we can go and do this battle if we want. Our Blight Elementals are kind of beat up, though, so we'd have to keep that in mind. I mean, most of these units are just kind of cannon fodder. Like, the Dread Monkeys are nothing to be scared of. The Shock Serpents are a little bit scary, and obviously the mature Shock Serpent is the most scary. We could try and dominate this unit too, which would be kind of cool. And actually, we could get these units involved to help us out if necessary. We could get this Grunt and the Frost Elemental just as some backup. I don't know if that's entirely necessary, really, but... Let's just look. What is it? So it's just immune to shock, nothing else too crazy about it. Inflict stun is the thing I'm scared of, though. That's pretty scary. Of course, it requires melee contact, so not so bad. I mean, our Black Knight can probably tank most of what's coming at him. Alright, let's at least just go across the bridge here and see what we're looking at. Ooh, this Hasteberry bush is going to be useful for us, potentially. Okay, let's use our little wisp here, and we'll just do a little bit more kind of scouting around the edge here. There's some refugees there. That would be good to increase the population of nearest city, which would be Toldran at the moment. We've actually got a half-decent stack we can build here that can actually do some work with. Here comes those Shadow Demons. What are they doing? They are going to be potentially able to siege the city. So I think I'll send this unit back just to guard it. And yeah, that'll be fine. That stone wall is going to be helpful for us. Jeez, I'm trying to decide if I want to send these units over to like go do something else, or if I want them to come and help. Like, I'm probably good to do this battle without any assistance. Yeah, let's just do it. We're just gonna do it. We're going big YOLO on this one. I think we can get it done. Okay. So, we gotta kind of just sort ourselves out before we dive right in. The Blight Elemental is going to need a little bit of extra health, so we're going to do that. Because we're going to need to make use of him. So now he's in better shape. Our Shock Troopers are doing really good, as are our Black Knights. We're going to kind of move them up. This Blight Elemental needs to kind of hang back a little bit, but not excessively so. I suppose we could use Strong Will if we need it for this battle, but I think we'll be just fine. Alright. So now the question is, how do we want to kind of engage them here a little bit? So we obviously want them to come and attack us. So we'll move this Blight Elemental kind of right here. It's a good spot for him. And then we can move up our other units a bit. Do your worst. Just flinging their poop at me. Disgusting. Alright, so that went pretty well, actually, all things considered. Now, let's see. How do we want to do this? So, again, we want to try and dominate the mature Shock Serpent. Let's just see what are the odds of it right now if we were to just go 70%. That's actually pretty solid. So maybe let's kind of work on just killing off some of these other units a bit, just to make that easier. So our cavalry, we could charge them right in and blast the Dread Monkey over here. We do have to remember that the Dread Monkeys have sprint, so that's a bit of an issue. Unfortunately, this Shock Serpent really not in the best position here. Because if we try to dominate right there, we're going to be open to attack. Dominus is going to be open to attack from a bunch of different angles. Especially because these units have sprint, unfortunately. Okay, we're going to War Cry. Oh, I was hoping for the kill there. Unfortunately, we didn't get it. Another option would be to try for the freeze, but then that puts Crognash in harm's way as well, which is something I do not want. So I think instead we'll kill off that Dread Monkey, make sure he's out of commission, and then, oh, you know what? We can get in there and probably kill this Shock Serpent, no problem. Very nice. Okay, that's good. And then, now, we could throw a Weakened on here. I think what we're going to do is we're going to throw a Weakened on. Oh, now, I want to take one step this way. Because right now, if we were to come in and dominate, we would end up standing right there, which would put us in a bad spot. 75% chance. Pretty good. I mean, honestly, it's a gamble, because if it doesn't work, Dominus is potentially dead. Oh, okay, they fumbled. That's really good. Alright, so now let's move in. We're going to try for it. Nice! We got it. Fantastic. Okay. Now we can throw ourselves in defense. I think we're going to be fine now. Let's see how this goes. There's that Shock Serpent just stunning everything. Unbelievable. Very good. Okay. That actually worked out real well for us. That was a bit of a gamble on my part, but I think it kind of paid off. Alright, so now we'll use our Shock Trooper to kill off these ones. And then we can move over here and kill off. Very good. And we can use Crognash here to finish off this Dread Monkey. Okay, fantastic. And just like that, we got ourselves a mature Shock Serpent, which is ideal. Very, very good. And we got a really good shield. Buckler of the King's Guard. Gives us the benefit of a shield, +2 defense against non-flanking attacks, and we get +1 defense and resistance. Very, very nice. And I'm almost tempted to give that to Dominus, but he's not really going to be in the fighting, so I think we'll just keep it with Crognash for now. Got to kind of think about that one, though. Because obviously we don't want Crognash getting one-shotted or anything. Anyway, I'll think about which hero gets to keep that item. So we do definitely have enough units here that we could split this off and have Dominus lead his own stack. The only problem with that is it is kind of nice having the two heroes together for now, just because Dominus is not really built at the moment to like lead his own stack necessarily. I mean, he does have Lightning Rod, Banner, and Forge Aprons, I suppose, which is pretty good. So, I mean, not terrible, but yeah. I have to kind of think about that a little bit. There's a lot of tricky decisions this episode. Okay, now did we finish scouting over here? Yes, we did. I also have to decide where do I move these units now. So do I just kind of flank around this way and then cross the river to attack the undead, or do I come back this way and maybe try and clear out the Sphinx Temple and grab this watchtower? That's probably the smart move, honestly. Got another watchtower up here. I suppose I could grab that real fast. I mean, I'm already there. I could grab it. It would slow me down a little bit, because, I mean, if I If I decide to start coming back, I can be back there in one turn, which would be great. And this Shock Serpent, I'd probably want to add it into the stack. That's a nice tier 3 with a lot of strength. And this Blight Elemental is honestly great. It's already at a silver medal, which means it's very close to leveling up to gold and then evolving. So that's great. Keep the good times rolling on that in that aspect. I mean, this would be a really easy battle for me, and it would give me a lot of vision range. Even though it's going to slow me down coming back, I think I'm going to do it just so that I actually can see what's going on up here. So let's do it. We'll use Dominus to engage the battle. So I'm not as concerned about my mind controlling any of these units, really. I mean, honestly, the Ice Scrapers might be the most valuable just to have a little bit of ranged unit damage there, but I mean, the Royal Guard are alright, but this ability really only synergizes with other Frostling units, so not as useful, really. Alright, what kind of... So we want... I think we're going to want... Now, we have to remember that when this unit dies, it explodes, the Royal Guard, so... Got to remember that. So we're going to put our Shock Trooper there to deal with the pikemen. And everybody else can just kind of... Can almost just let them come to us, really. We want Dominus back here, and we can actually... Maybe we'll even jump back like this, and then we'll give Forge Aprons to this Blight Elemental just so it has the health. A little bit extra health there. This one can just kind of hang out sort of here. Our cavalry can kind of just wait in the wings here to charge in and annihilate somebody, perhaps. Crognash can sit back. Alright, let's let them kind of advance here. Now, we are going to eat a ice ball here. Okay, very good. That was really the only thing that would have screwed us over, is if we would have gotten frozen solid there. Okay, so now... I can actually even use Dominus out here and go for a Dominate. Actually, I already have a 75% chance of it working, which is pretty incredible. Yeah, I think maybe we'll do that. We can kill off this Raider, and then kill off this Raider. Very nice. Shock Trooper's a little worse for wear, so we just have to watch out, because this Royal Guard could do some damage. And obviously, just because of its explosive death, we have to be very careful. And I don't really want my cavalry getting involved with them, because obviously it's like polearm versus polearm, so that's not so good. Now, the real danger would be if he ends up in here and he goes after like Crognash or something. Alright, so why don't we move around behind like this. And we'll go for the Dominate. Nice, and we got it. That's ideal. Okay, and then what kind of damage do we get in melee here? Oh, we can survive that. So we'll just do a little bit. And we can blast him a little bit. Maybe even... I'm trying to decide now. The only thing is if they both come in and attack the... I think we'll be alright. So the Royal Guard needs a little more damage. There we go. Now the Black Knight, again, we're going to just leave him in reserve to charge in when he needs to. Okay, so we went after those Frostlings. Not a big problem for me. There we go. Very nice. Now, I do still need to get rid of these Royal Guard, and they are going to explode when they die. So... we can blast the heck out of them, and then basically just get the kill with one of our other units. Why don't we turn them around here? That would probably be good. Actually, you know what? We can turn them around. And we can throw a weakened on them just for the extra experience. And then now we can move this unit off, like that. And then we can get the finish with Dominus here just by blasting them. Nice. Fantastic. Alright, so we got ourselves a little Ice Scraper, and we didn't lose anybody. Gained a little bit more experience. Oh, and look at this. Heart of the Glades, and it's guarded by a Horned God. Oh my goodness. Now, what I notice about the Horned God here... Oh, he does have Strong Will. Dang it. I was going to say he's not immune to mind control, but he does have Strong Will. There it is. So, we won't be able to get a hold of him. And here's another Sphinx Temple. I am actually pretty glad that I cleared that out. That gave us a ton of extra view, of extra vision range there, so... Not to mention that little extra unit. So, let's just do production for Hrim, and then we can proceed. Now, in terms of efficiency, when the city grows in 2 turns, it's probably going to get extra production income. But, so it might not be wise to do the observatory, as we're going to end up almost like wasting a turn. Stone Wall could be good, just to provide that extra defense, since we are kind of going to be under siege here shortly. But as much as it's going to be a bit of a waste, I do want the observatory now, so I'm going to kind of do that. I'll actually have time to think about that one, because I'm going to end the episode right away, so we'll have time to think about that one. We can change it later if we need to. So this little guy, I just want to kind of do some scouting. Okay, so we got a circus here guarded by a bunch of Draconians. And I'm going to send this stack over to clear out this Elven city, and we are going to probably violently subjugate it, I think. This one's a little bit above our pay grade at the moment, unfortunately. Some halflings over there. I think we're just going to make a beeline for the city, basically, with Urkan. Now, I need to decide what to do with these units, and I'm actually going to end the episode here. I'll have to think about this. So I've got this spearman who can basically, you know, make it to about here. What we could do is group all 3 units up and make our stand against this stack here. We'd probably lose. Alternatively, I could run this unit over and have them group up in my throne, and then whether or not this unit decides to follow, I don't know, but that's probably what I imagine what they would do. The other option is I can go sit with my vassal buddies here. The only thing is, my experience in a previous playthrough is such that when I'm standing here and I get attacked, these units don't come into the battle with me. Although, again, I'm not 100% sure about that. In a previous playthrough, they didn't, so I'm going to assume that that's the case. I think right now what I'm leaning towards is running towards my throne and just sitting here. And hopefully that's enough to deter the attack. Other option is I run this unit in, group him up, and have the 3 of them make their stand in the open field, which I don't like that option very much. So, anyway, kind of a slow episode, but we did have some really interesting developments. We had, obviously, this Archon Revenant dwelling, which is really exciting. We're going to hopefully be able to take advantage of this. And we had some interesting exploration go on. We gained a few more units like this Mature Shock Serpent, which is really useful. A couple of other elementals like this Air Elemental. So things are going really well. The heroes are leveling up. Things are kind of moving along. So we're gonna save this one right here. And we also have that quest for Carbonok. Let's not forget about that. We're going to call this one Episode 4. And Carbonok actually offered to join us, but we're gonna hold off on that because obviously there's those units that are right outside of Carbonok, so wouldn't be good to just leave the city magically undefended all of a sudden. But in any case, guys, that's going to do it for Episode 4. Thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.